Welcome to Women on Purpose. My name is Jo, and I'm so glad you're here. If you've ever found yourself drained by a one-sided friendship or questioning whether a relationship is truly supportive, you're in the right place. Because today, we're diving into the world of toxic connections, how to spot them, and most importantly, how to free yourself from them with kindness, strength, and a little bit of humor. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained instead of uplifted? Or found yourself tiptoeing around someone's moods trying to avoid an emotional storm? Yep, me too. Let's talk about it. Some friendships and relationships should fill your cup, not empty it. And yet, we sometimes find ourselves stuck in connections that leave us exhausted, anxious, or questioning our worth. Women are often expected to be nurturing, forgiving, and endlessly patient. But that doesn't mean we should tolerate manipulation or one-sided relationships. Recognizing, understanding, and handling toxic relationships isn't just about setting boundaries. It's about reclaiming our peace, confidence, and happiness. So grab your favorite cup of tea or wine. No judgment here. And let's dive in together. As I talk, ethereal images that inspire imagination will appear. Gentle reminders that you deserve relationships filled with light, laughter, and love. Enjoy. Recognizing a toxic friendship or relationship. Red flags to watch out for. Recognizing a toxic friendship or relationship can feel tricky, especially when we want to see the best in people. But if someone consistently drains your energy, manipulates your emotions, or makes you feel small, it's time to take a closer look. Beware of the energy vampire, the one who leaves you emotionally exhausted after every conversation. Then there's the guilt tripper, who twists every situation to make you feel bad for not doing exactly what they want. The competitor never truly cheers you on, always turning your wins into their personal challenge. The fair-weather friend is around when it's convenient for them, but vanishes the second you need support. If your life feels like a never-ending soap opera, you might be dealing with the drama queen king, who thrives on chaos and sees you as their personal therapist. And let's not forget the control freak and the chronic critic. One wants to micromanage your life, while the other disguises constant negativity as honesty. Sound familiar? Don't worry. You're not alone, and you can take back your peace. How it feels to be in a toxic relationship. Being in a toxic relationship feels like carrying a heavy backpack you never signed up for, one filled with self-doubt, stress, and exhaustion. You start constantly questioning yourself, wondering if you're overreacting or if it's really that bad. Spoiler, if you're asking, it probably is. Every interaction leaves you feeling anxious or guilty, like you've done something wrong, even when you haven't. You find yourself walking on eggshells, carefully choosing your words and actions to avoid setting them off. Instead of feeling uplifted, you feel drained rather than energized, like they've siphoned all the joy from your day. If this sounds familiar, take a deep breath, because recognizing the problem is the first step toward reclaiming your peace. Why we stay in toxic relationships and why we shouldn't. Common reasons we hold on. Let's be real. Walking away from a toxic relationship isn't always easy, and sometimes we cling to connections that no longer serve us. One of the biggest reasons? History and nostalgia. Just because you've been friends since high school doesn't mean you're obligated to endure a one-sided friendship forever. Then there's guilt. Feeling like you owe them your time, energy, or endless second chances, even when they've done nothing to deserve them. Fear of being alone can keep us stuck, convincing us that bad company is better than no company at all. It's not. We also get caught in the trap of hoping they'll change, telling ourselves, maybe they don't mean it that way, or maybe next time will be different. And let's not forget people-pleasing, the pressure to be nice, not rock the boat, and avoid being seen as selfish for setting boundaries. But here's the truth. You are not selfish for choosing peace over toxicity. The right people will celebrate you, not drain you. The cost of staying in a toxic relationship. Staying in a toxic relationship comes at a cost, and trust me, it's more expensive than you think. The longer you tolerate manipulation, criticism, or one-sided effort, the more you experience a loss of self-esteem and confidence, making you doubt your worth. The stress of constantly managing their moods or avoiding conflict can lead to increased anxiety, exhaustion, and even physical health issues, because emotional stress loves to show up as headaches, tension, or sleepless nights. And let's not forget the time and energy wasted on someone who doesn't truly support you. Energy that could be spent on people who actually uplift and love you. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you redirected that energy into relationships that make you feel safe and valued. Choosing to walk away isn't losing. It's making space for something better. How to set boundaries and reclaim your energy. The power of no. Setting boundaries isn't about being mean. It's about protecting your peace and valuing yourself as much as you value others. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you someone who respects their own time, energy, and well-being. If you struggle with this, practice using simple but firm phrases, like, "I can't commit to that right now," when someone asks for more than you can give. If a conversation is making you uncomfortable, try, "I don't feel comfortable with this conversation," to shut it down with grace. And when you need a break from someone's negativity, "I need some space," is a perfectly acceptable response. No explanation required. The more you practice, the easier it gets, and trust me, the right people will respect your boundaries. The wrong ones will just prove why you needed them in the first place. Having the hard conversations. Having hard conversations can feel uncomfortable, but setting boundaries with kindness and confidence is a game changer. The key is to express your concerns firmly without fueling unnecessary conflict. And that's where the I statement technique comes in. Instead of saying, "You always make me feel guilty," which can make someone defensive, try, "I feel drained when our conversations revolve around negativity." This keeps the focus on your feelings rather than accusing them of wrongdoing. If they gaslight or dismiss your feelings, stay calm and stand your ground. Something like, "I understand that you see it differently, but this is how I feel, and I need to honor that." You don't need their permission to set a boundary, and you don't have to convince them that your feelings are valid, because they are. When to walk away completely. Sometimes, no amount of boundary setting or heart-to-hearts can fix a toxic relationship, and that's your sign to walk away completely. If someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, dismisses your feelings, or drains your energy, it's beyond saving. And yes, letting go, even of unhealthy relationships, can feel like a loss, and it's okay to grieve what you hoped the friendship or relationship would be. But here's the silver lining. Walking away isn't just about leaving toxicity, it's about making space for better, healthier connections. You get to choose your circle wisely, surrounding yourself with people who encourage, respect, and uplift you. Remember, quality over quantity, because one genuine supportive friend is worth more than 10 toxic ones. Healing and thriving. After a toxic relationship, finding your people, healthy, supportive friendships. Healing after a toxic relationship isn't just about letting go. It's about finding your people and welcoming real, supportive friendships into your life. No more overextending yourself for people who wouldn't do the same for you. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting people who celebrate your wins, support you in hard times, and make you feel safe being yourself. The right friendships won't drain you. They'll fill you up in the best way possible. Rebuilding your self-worth. Rebuilding your self-worth after a toxic relationship starts with forgiving yourself for staying too long. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Instead of beating yourself up, practice self-compassion and remind yourself you are not difficult. You are deserving. Healing isn't just about who you let go of. It's about who you're becoming in the process. Start saying yes to things that bring you joy and confidence. Whether that's a new hobby, a solo adventure, or simply taking time to rest without guilt. Surround yourself with people who see your worth even on the days you forget it yourself. Because the truth is, you've always been enough, and now it's time to treat yourself like it. The art of thriving without drama. Thriving without drama means learning to enjoy peace instead of chaos, because calm, steady relationships should feel safe, not like an emotional roller coaster. It's about recognizing your worth without needing constant validation from others. Your value doesn't decrease just because someone else fails to see it. When you fully embrace who you are, you naturally attract high-quality relationships, the kind built on mutual respect, trust, and joy. No more chasing approval or bending over backward to keep toxic people happy. Instead, focus on being your authentic self and watch the right people gravitate toward you. Because a life without drama isn't boring. It's beautifully peaceful. Role of social media in toxic relationships. Social media can turn toxic friendships into a never-ending competition, making you feel like you're constantly measuring up to someone else's highlight reel. Comparison culture fuels jealousy and unrealistic expectations, especially when toxic friends subtly brag or downplay your successes. Then there's passive-aggressive behavior, those vague, cryptic posts that leave you wondering, is that about me? Spoiler, if you're asking, it probably is. Instead of letting it drain you, set digital boundaries. Unfollow, mute, or block if necessary, because protecting your peace is more important than keeping up appearances. You don't owe anyone access to your life, especially if they use it to bring negativity. A true friend supports you in real life, not just for likes and comments. How childhood and past experiences shape our tolerance for toxicity. The way we experience relationships as children often shapes what we tolerate as adults, even when it's not good for us. If you grew up around emotional manipulation, people-pleasing, or neglect, it can be hard to recognize when a relationship is unhealthy versus just normal. Hint, constant anxiety isn't normal. Many women normalize toxic behavior because it feels familiar, even when it drains them. But here's the good news. Healing is possible. Unlearning these patterns takes time, but the more you surround yourself with healthy, respectful connections, the easier it becomes to see what real support looks like. You deserve friendships and relationships that feel safe, kind, and balanced, because healthy love exists, and it starts with you. Role Gaslighting 101, recognizing when someone is twisting reality. Gaslighting is like being stuck in a bad magic trick, except instead of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, the other person is making your reality disappear. Ever heard phrases like, "You're too sensitive," "That never happened," or "You're making a big deal out of nothing"? That's gaslighting in action, designed to make you doubt your own memories, feelings, and instincts. The goal? To keep you second-guessing yourself so they can stay in control. If this sounds familiar, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Start keeping a record of incidents, notes, screenshots, texts, to remind yourself that you're not imagining things. And most importantly, your feelings are valid. Always. Anyone who constantly tries to rewrite reality doesn't deserve a starring role in your life. Conclusion. You are worthy of friendships and relationships that make you feel safe, loved, and respected. Never forget that. You don't have to settle for less, shrink yourself, or carry the weight of one-sided connections. The right people will never make you feel like you're too much. They'll love you for exactly who you are. So, go out there, set those boundaries, and build a life full of love, laughter, and people who lift you higher. Take a moment to reflect. Are your relationships lifting you up or weighing you down? You deserve connections that bring joy, peace, and support. So start small. Set a boundary. Say no when needed. And choose yourself. If this resonated with you, subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going. Your growth and happiness matter. Comment below and share your thoughts.